What is going on? What is going on? My name is Ashton Anthony. If you hear my voice, that means you are now tuned in to the Get Back Podcast, the podcast where we're joined by guests each and every week. We dive in more into their passions and interests and also spark conversations about the best topics in the world of entertainment, music, and sports. This week, I have another very special guest. I know that I said that every week, but every week has a very special guest. Joined by one of my friends. He is a reporter for the A&T Register, the entertainment anchor for Aggie News, and he is also a host and a rapper under the name of MVP Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Get Back Podcast on episode 6, MVP Mike.
My guy, thank you. First, before we start, I wanted to say I'm really proud of you, man. Like, you spoke this into existence, so you saw it, obtained it, and, the Get Back is here.
Appreciate you. Yeah, I've been talking about this. Everybody that knows me knows I've been talking about this for a minute.
A long time.
So, finally in effect, but how has your week been? This has been a long semester, couple more weeks till
crazy.
I'm out of here. So how's your week been?
I'm not gonna lie. This week has been a series of events. My keys are lost, so maybe that's a PSA for, whoever can find my keys, please run that. But beyond that, work has been cool, school has been cool, and just maneuvering until graduation on May 11th. It's been really good. I've been blessed.
Yeah, and the semester overall, like, we've had conversations about this all the time. Like, you made the switch from business, was it?
Yeah, economics.
Economics to journalism, and basically that put a lot of work on your on your plate, a lot of stress and stuff like that. And you're able. So I want to say I'm proud of you because you've told me a lot of times where you've like had to kind of play catch up and hurry up so that you could graduate on time, and you're about to graduate. So how has overall like your experience been at A&T so far, for real, like as you're coming to the end? And like I said, you've done all this work, and on top of that, you've been contributing to the orgs and the Register, Aggie News, and stuff like that. And how's that been?
Well, appreciate you, my guy, for the love. As far as maneuvering, I just feel like before I got to A&T, I kind of knew what type of person I wanted to be when I got out of A&T. As far as I wanted to grow, and also I wanted to touch everything that I wanted to put my hands on as far as my passions and things that I like doing. When I came in with economics, it was kind of like, okay, I know this is going to make me a lot of money. This is something that's kind of slept on as far as like a career choice, but I still wasn't really sure as far as like what I wanted to do with economics. I was like, okay, I could be a lawyer, I could be an economist. And as the major progressed, it was kind of pushing me back for like what I actually wanted to do. And so when I started taking journalism classes, it was like a refreshed passion because growing up, I always liked writing. I always liked talking to people. And so it kind of put me back into that mode of like, okay, hey, this is what I need to be doing. This is my niche. And so the teachers at Crosby Hall, shout out Crosby Hall, they're very receptive as far as giving us motivation to just doing more in the journalism field. And so my version of doing more was just making that switch. And I think I was just so passionate about it. It just really didn't feel like work to me as far as all the hours that I was taking. Yeah, I took summer classes. I took 19 hours this past semester, but I was happy to do it just because of like the village that I've been able to grow within Crosby Hall and A&T in general. I'm really open about my journey as far as like switching majors and just being a jack of all trades on campus. I feel like, that's me all day, but I feel like, I was willing to do it just because I'm enjoying myself like throughout the whole process.
So, like I said, we're here, and we're gonna move off this, but I did want to give like recognition to like, because this semester, all the outside of like one episode, all the other guests that I brought on are graduating seniors. So
right,
I have to ask, like, what are you planning for after you graduate? Is there anything you have planned or anything you hope to do, your aspirations and stuff like that?
Okay, so this is exclusive right here, but this summer I will be in Miami, Florida for the Miami Herald. So I'll be working as a news intern for them. So definitely excited about that, Yummy.
Mike, look at this camera.
Okay.
I cut that out.
Okay. So you want me to say it again?
Nah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, say it again. Yeah. Let me know what to do, host.
I noticed you was looking at that camera.
Okay.
And that camera's pointed on me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
This
I ain't got my
camera's
glasses on. Okay. So this all right. We go get it right. All right, this summer I will be working as a news intern for the Miami Herald in Miami, Florida. So definitely happy to be in the yams, yammy. So I'm definitely excited about that. And this upcoming fall, I'm hoping to be a law student at one of these law schools. So that announcement is definitely coming soon.
That's what's up. Like I also said, Mike is, he said it, a jack of all trades. So in the journalism field, in the law field, also in the music field as well, MVP Mike, that's your name. That'll be the name you see in the description and everything like that. But I know this is kind of dragged out. We've been talking about it for the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks, for real. And it's just the rap beef with Drake, J. Cole, or not J. Cole anymore, but Drake and Kendrick Lamar, to be honest. And like I said, it's been dragged out. This is the main topic. I feel like this should just turns this podcast and just to a music podcast, but
right.
Sports is kind of, I don't know. This is like the weird.
Yeah, it's like draft season,
yeah,
and it's like playoffs. It's like everything's a little like, low key right now.
In the fall, we'll have a lot more sports episodes. So for those that watch my podcast that are interested in sports, I do apologize, but kind of don't, because this is my podcast.
Yeah, right. Music now, sports later. You can wait.
But yeah, so this has been an ongoing thing, and I feel like this beef between Drake and Kendrick is gonna be like, just my prediction, it's gonna be like one of those beefs where it's just like forever gonna be a conversation, because both fan bases go so hard for their guy,
right?
And it's just an ongoing thing. Drake dropped, or didn't really officially drop, but his diss track against Kendrick called Push-Ups, and that was in response to not just Kendrick and like the Like That track, but it was in response to
everybody who's been saying something right.
Future, Metro, Rick Ross even, and basically we're just at a point where we're waiting for a response from Kendrick. How did you, or just a little backstory for those who don't really know it. Basically, Drake, the diss track surfaced on Twitter.
Right.
People didn't know if it was real or AI. And that's really something that's kind of crazy in our world, because people can make an AI track and we're not even sure that if it's the real artist or not.
Right.
And this is probably like the beginning stages of the whole AI thing.
Right.
Like, pretty sure you might have, I was listening to a podcast, pretty sure you might have scammers that might take your voice and try to like
use it on a song,
call your grandfather and be like, "Oh, I need money, like I'm in distress," and your
crazy.
grandfather don't know no better, so they might send the money, So, but
that's low key smart.
Yeah, it's scary. But yeah, and people didn't really. I guess when it first was out on Twitter, people didn't really like it like that, because I know a lot. It was like, oh, it sounds like a white boy did this.
Oh Lord!
And so seems like then it was later confirmed it got tweaked a little bit, and then it was confirmed that it was actually Drake. And so, how did you really feel about the diss track and all? Do you feel like Drake, the response, like that response was like that? Not to
do you feel no like pun intended.
Do you feel like it was like that? Like it was good enough as a good response to Kendrick?
I believe it's all in the sport of hip hop. I feel like it's all about expression at the end of the day. I have respect for all parties involved, but I'm really just sitting back and observing. As a fan, I think, everybody knows what the audience wants as far as, if you all say this is a sport, if this is what you do for a living, do what you do for a living. So I think sometimes not only from a rapper's perspective, but from a fan's perspective, just because they like somebody or dislike somebody, like the goalpost is moved sometimes. Because I feel like if one rapper did a response that Drake did because of the certain public respect that they have as far as rapport, as far as like the music that they put out, it would be respected a little more.
Yeah.
But because sometimes it is Drake, the goalpost is moved. It's like, oh, that's not enough because you're Drake,
Yeah. And so I definitely feel like this Drake disc was really, at first I was like, okay, it's cool. But then I dove into it and I watched breakdowns of it and stuff like that. I was like, yo, this is like kind of a great like diss track.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you caught it, but Drake talked about what's a prince to a king? He a son.
Oh, he a son.
Like a triple entendre.
Yeah.
Because obviously Kendrick said Prince outlived Mike Jack.
Yeah.
But he said, what's a prince to a king? Michael Jackson's obviously the king of pop. And then Michael Jackson's son, his name is Prince Jackson. But also,
dang, I didn't even peep that.
I saw that people were saying like, and I don't really agree with this, but I'm not even going to hold people that want to make this like reach or assumption.
Right.
He was saying like Kendrick wanted to say he was Prince because Prince was somebody that basically did whatever he wanted to do.
Right.
Like, they wanted Prince to hop on one of Michael Jackson's tracks. I forgot which track it was.
But he just wasn't with it.
And he was like, nah, F y'all, like, I'm not, I'm trying to be better than Mike, like, and people think that's how Kendrick, perceives himself as like this dude that wants to be, just on his own and not want to, he's the best and he doesn't want to collab with Drake or anything because he feels like he's the best, or J. Cole because he feels like he's the best. But also, the thing was like, drop it, give me 50. He said, what did he say? He said, top dog said you better drop it, give me 50, meaning that, basically back when like Kendrick, I think it's still now, like if they wanted Kendrick to do something, he basically had to do it. Like Kendrick didn't really have no free will. And when he was like, you gotta do a track for Maroon 5 and don't forget we need one for the Swifties, Drake was saying like, basically if you model yourself after Prince, meanwhile you gotta do all these tracks with Prince and with Taylor Swift and Maroon 5 because you have to, but you are the one saying, oh, basically I'm 101, like I'm doing this on my own. I don't gotta do stuff that I don't want to do, basically. So that was kind of like a big jab at Kendrick's integrity and stuff like that. And that's why I feel like the diss track was really a great diss track for real. It really put Kendrick in a position where, yes, he has to respond, but also you have to really come with something.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a back and forth of like poking the bear a little bit. It's like, okay, you're saying you're going to snatch the chains, bump the big 3 inches, Big B, and all that. It's like Drake, like I said, like Kendrick's was really good. It got everybody talking, went number 1 on Billboard. It's definitely doing his thing. But Drake, he kind of flipped every little thing that Kendrick was saying in his. And I feel like that's very observant for him to be a seasoned artist, So much respect to both, though.
Yeah. And I'll say this, like, people always say I come off as a Kendrick fan. I'm a Kendrick fan. But just because I like Kendrick and I'm rooting for Kendrick does not mean I hate Drake or I hate J. Cole, right? Like, I'm still fans of those two. It's just when you put one up against, it's like in sports, right?
You always have a favorite player.
I'm a fan of LeBron and Curry. But when Curry fans try to put Curry up against LeBron, Oh, and Kevin Durant fans try to put KD up against LeBron. It's like, okay, let's calm down.
But some people,
let's calm down.
Some people, because they are so hardcore fans of them, like they see past that.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, but he does this, but they do that. Same with rap. Like, okay, there's a lot of male rappers, you know what I mean, and a lot of male rappers that are really good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like Big Three, for example. You could be like, oh, but Kendrick, you know, his To Pimp a Butterfly album like kills Drake's whole catalog. But it's like, what? Drake got, you know, before you read this, it's too late. Tuscan leather. Hold on, we're going home. All that. So, you know, you can argue all day. I feel like,
and so that's why, and I even said that's why I'm sitting up here and like giving Drake his credit, because people think that I'm like, or like even Kendrick fans, like, and there are some diehard Kendrick fans that I don't even associate myself with, because it's like you do have the people that's like, oh, To Pimp a Butterfly is better than Drake's whole catalog, and I'm like, dog, I'm a big Kendrick fan. I think To Pimp a Butterfly is a classic, but
you got to be fair.
Like, it's not better than Take Care.
Yeah,
it's not better than. I mean, you can make an argument, but I'm not gonna sit up here and make a bold statement like that.
Yeah, you gotta take your feelings out of it.
Even though I do believe like Good Kid, Mad City is like, if you stack all the albums up, like from J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick, I think Good Kid, Mad City is like the top album, because it's just it's a great rap album. In my opinion, I like it better than Nothing Was the Same or Take Care, but those albums are like classics. Classics.
Yes, classics.
But yeah, so.
But I mean, Kendrick does too, you know?
Yeah, and so I'm even at a point right now, it's like, okay, I don't know what Kendrick is coming with, because Kendrick has never been in this position. Like, he's never had rap beef with people. He's like I said with J. Cole, like, he's been the one to say, like, you know, I'll murder your favorite rapper.
Yeah,
but he's never been tried.
Yeah, he don't play.
But unlike J. Cole, like, Kendrick actually did it by calling out rappers' names on the Control verse, like called out Drake, called out Cole, called out Meek Mill, called out French Montana, called out Mac Miller, like literally all the rappers, A$AP Rocky, all the rappers that was popping like 2014, he called them out on the track.
Right.
And none of them came back. So I kind of get both sides where people are like, oh, Kendrick's not battle tested, but it's also, well, he put the shot out there, nobody fired back. So
right. But what I will say, I think even Cole, what he said at and shout out J. Cole.
You were there.
Yes.
Let me ask you about that. What was the response amongst like the crowd when he did that? Because I was watching a podcast and I know you're always gonna have people like you're always gonna have Carolina natives that rock with J. Cole.
Hard.
So I know, and you heard cheers in the crowd, but I also was watching a podcast where people were like, and one of his friends said that basically he couldn't believe that J. Cole did that on stage, because he built it up like he was about to drop a diss track on Kendrick Lamar or something, or like perform like his diss track.
Yeah.
And then he pulled out a stool and just apologized. So,
it's good marketing. You know, you're an artist, you gotta know how to market.
What was that like? Like, how was that?
I think everybody's like raw reaction was kind of like, what's about to happen? Because you know, he was like, you know, I saw on social media, and you know, everybody was just, all my camp around me was like seeing how they were going to respond, and everybody was like, with all that, and even me, like my phone was like, oh, what's about to happen? What's about to happen? But then he was saying, he kind of put it back into a spiritual perspective as far as, you know, the mental space that he was in, as far as, you know, he kind of did it because of everybody else's influence that was around him. And even, I could say, you know, he was on tour with Drake. You know, that's Drake's energy. You know what I mean? Like, Drake, he's not a right now type of guy. I mean, this time he was a right now type of guy. But you know Drake is coming. You know, it's a couple rappers in the game. You know they're coming. You know, you just got to wait a little bit. Yeah. But J. Cole, we don't really know him to be in public rap beefs like that. But for him to drop something, it was like, whoa, you know, Cole's coming to play. Okay. But he was like, you know, he's just not that type of rapper.
Yeah.
And I think not just J. Cole, but like a lot of rappers, you know, I feel like they wait a little minute just because they're not in the mental space to respond to beef. Because at the end of the day, like, it's smoke, you know? of course we're having fun, but when I see you, it's still like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not rocking with you like that because you had the nerve to talk about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like from that angle, you know, I feel like Kendrick, you might have to give him a minute.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll
say this as a Cole fan. I said it last. I'm not gonna spend too much time on that, but Cole, we not rocking. We not rocking with that, bro. I can't rock with that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as far as fans, like I'm with the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel like if you want to respond, stand on that.
But this not like but I said it last week. Like this not if that really like messed up Cole like spiritually and he really couldn't sleep at night, stuff like that.
Yeah, I respect that.
You know, okay. But my thing, Cole, if he was like,
he's like, okay,
you know, like he said, if you want to take your shot, you know, I'll leave my chin out there. I'm like, bro, if he wanted to be like,
yeah, I feel like you're just not that type of fan. You like,
if he
wanted
wanted
to feel
to be
like he should stand on it.
All right, you know, I did my track, but like, I just feel like I'm bigger than this. You know, but I'm still standing on it. And he performed the diss track. I would have been cool with it.
Yeah,
that
would have been hard. That would have been hard.
I'm not addressing this again.
Yeah.
All right, I would have been cool because you said you were bigger than this. Like,
okay.
But him just apologizing, giving your stage to Kendrick after he dissed you, and you gave your stage on your own festival to Kendrick, and was like,
I thought Kendrick Lamar was about to come out.
I was like, how many of y'all think? He was like, how many of y'all think Kendrick is one of the greatest rappers of this generation?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, like, dog. And
you in the crowd like
you can't do. I would have been like, bro, like you can't do that, bro. But listen, Cole still rock with you. His album was still, you know, fire,
definitely.
His verse on Red Leather, still like that. I'm never gonna stop like listening to Cole. I won't lie, like for a minute after that apology, there was a little couple hours or like a day or two where I just could not.
You had to take a little break.
It's like,
he was a little heartbroken.
Like, you really did this right now, like, but yeah,
maybe he's just not on that right now.
Yeah, and I apologize. Not apologize. I get it.
You got you apologizing.
I get it.
Oh well.
Did not mean to say I apologize, but yeah. So, there is something a little bit earlier in the week that I put on my story. I got absolutely dog walked.
Oh my goodness, I must have missed this.
Dog walked.
What'd you say?
Shout out Antonio. He sent me this post by Spiritual World on Instagram.
Okay.
And it was like you had to choose one. Shrek or Toy Story. And I put a poll out there.
Okay.
Dog, my DMs I put a caption on the story. I said, if you choose Shrek, you're trolling me, basically.
No, I agree.
And people were like, what? Shrek? Shrek is literally like out of this world. Like Shrek. Like, I'm like, bro, I'm not saying Shrek is bad. Like, Shrek is a classic. We're putting two juggernauts against each other.
Right.
But Toy Story, do you understand Toy Story literally changed the way you look at toys?
Yeah, I will say.
Toy Story literally changed the way you look at your toys in your room growing up.
Right.
Literally, you were trying to catch your toys walking around your room.
You walking past and you
like, all right, bro. Toy Story literally changed the game.
Right.
Not that Shrek didn't. Don't get me wrong. Shrek is a classic.
Yeah.
Shrek literally put out, okay, what if we have all of these, you know, fables and children's stories?
Yeah, that concept was hard.
Movie about all of them interacting with each other, and it was great. But Toy Story redefined the culture of a child. It's the culture of playing with toys as a child. It did. So to me, and I'll wrap up right here. To me, that's why I give Toy Story the edge, because it was such a brilliant idea, and they went upon it and made 3 more movies. Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3. Even though Toy Story 4 we didn't really need, but Toy Story 3 is arguably like the best Pixar movie in Pixar history. Like,
Okay.
like when they were watching their fate, you know that scene where they were like in the furnace thing, and all
This is the first one?
No, Toy Story 3.
Oh, the third one.
That's why I said
yeah, when they were going to the daycare and all that.
Yeah, but they like at the end, all the toys, all of Andy's toys were like watching their fate as they were like going through like the inferno thing.
Yeah.
They had to hold hands.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's cinema.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you will shed a tear in that scene.
That's cinema.
Yeah. I will say, I like both movies, but Shrek, definitely the early movies like Shrek 2 and Shrek the Third and all that. Like, I think Shrek reminds me, don't shoot me down for this. Shrek reminds me of like Open Season. Like, I think the first Open Season movie, it's kind of like, what am I actually watching? Mm-hmm. Just cause like, I feel like you have to be like in love with the thought of like animals in a way. Like, if you're like into animal movies, I feel like you're gonna like Open Season. Yeah. If you're into like story time, like the fable stuff, you're gonna automatically like Shrek.
Yeah.
But the storyline, especially in the early movies of Shrek, it was a little rough to me. Like, I just didn't get it. Like, it just didn't like glue me in as far as like action.
Shrek is definitely a nostalgia based, like, is great for nostalgia.
Right.
Because you had the scene where they made a lot of references to real world. And that was kind of a good idea too, how you have a fiction based movie, a fiction tales and made up children's stories make a connection to the real world events, like they did the scene in Shrek where they kind of recreated the OJ chase with the white Bronco, and that was funny. So it was like, it's a good like nostalgia like movie, but Toy Story is literally like, it's like everybody can connect with this.
Yeah, and I love movies that have like the same characters coming back, because it's like, okay, like what is this character gonna do now?
Yeah,
it's not like a whole new, like something that I gotta get used to again.
Yeah, and I think both movies really did a great job of like putting together these characters that you never thought would work.
Yeah, ensemble cast. Yeah, I love shows like that.
So like, you had an ogre, you had a kingdom, a donkey, a dragon.
Yeah.
Pinocchio.
And they're there for every movie. Yeah.
Toy Story, you had a cowboy, a spaceman, you had toy soldiers, Mr. Potato Head, you had like, what else? You had
Slinky Dog.
Like,
yeah.
You had a Barbies, like, bro, like,
Toy Story was lit.
Toy Story holds a special, like, my children
need to watch Toy Story.
You're going to watch Toy Story. You're going to watch Shrek as well, but I won't be like, I feel like they're going to relate to Toy Story
a little more
than Shrek.
Okay.
Because it's like, am I going to raise my children to watch, to read like fiction tales about Humpty Dumpty and
you just feel like it's a little like not realistic.
It's Shrek is good for that time.
Okay.
Toy Story to me transcends time. And that's basically what it is. Like, Toy Story, and it's like what I'm saying, like,
okay,
the idea of toys having their own life on their own.
All right.
And think about it, like, back then that wasn't like a huge like idea like it is now.
Yeah,
like,
but Disney is very good at that as far as like putting like life lessons in these animation films.
Yeah.
Like, I think every Toy Story movie, you're right, like it was like a transition period as far as like Andy growing up and they had to move somewhere else and they were just always into like a new thing. It was like always like adapting.
Yeah. So it's like, the reason why I think Toy Story is going to transcend time and like generations is because, one, you market toy. You're always gonna have a Woody toy. You're always gonna have like a
Buzz Lightyear
toy.
Did you watch Lightyear? Like,
yeah,
the Buzz Lightyear movie. Did you like it?
It was cool. I mean, I like the idea of like doing a movie based off of what the toy was inspired by. But I really feel like they should have just, if they were gonna do that, they should have just did the actual movie of like, because in Toy Story 2 they dove into like who actually is Buzz Lightyear, like who he faces Zurg and like the Space Corp, and they had like the cartoon show for him
Right.
back in like 2000s or something like that. I feel like they should have just did that. Like,
Yeah, just kept it
who
simple.
does Buzz think he is? Like, but the toy version, not like
Okay.
a real life version.
Yeah.
And if they would have did that for Woody as well, like in Toy Story 2, when they did Woody, like
When they showed like Jesse and all that,
like,
yeah,
that would have been good if they did like a movie or like a series of like who Woody actually is supposed to be in like the little TV show and stuff like that. But I think they tried to do like a little bit too real aspect to it.
Yeah.
And then like the twist was like Zurg, spoilers, but I mean that movie's been out for forever, so.
But Disney does that too. Like they love to do like prequels, like after the fact. Like they did the same thing with Monsters Inc. Like they have a continuation of that Monsters University. Like that's like a whole throwback. But I love Monsters University. That's like one of my favorite Disney movies.
Yeah. And we did like, or let me just finish like what he said was in the story. I'm trying to remember the movie. The movie was like Zurg, but the twist was like Zurg was Buzz from the future.
Oh, I think I did see that.
It was like, all right, this is kind of getting a little.
Yeah,
like,
we're losing the plot.
And I get it. If we were gonna dive more into the Buzz Lightyear universe, because everybody wants to do a cinematic universe, it was good, but I don't think that is that Lightyear came at a time, and this is like really recent, but like 2 years ago, where everybody was trying to get the results of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because it was such a big Marvel's universe was such a big like draw, so everybody was trying to catch on. So you had all these movie franchises trying to do universes, like just not even like horror films are trying to do universes as well,
right?
And you do have some franchises that they benefit off of that, because like the Godzilla Kong movie that came out, that's a franchise where you could do a universe because it has actual history to it. Like the Japanese Godzilla films actually have multiple movies of like they had a universe back in like the 1960s, 1970s. They already had that, right? Like Marvel and DC have context that they can take, like comic books and stuff. They have storylines already. But like Buzz Lightyear in Pixar is like you're just trying to make a universe out of thin air, and it's like it doesn't really work like that. So yeah, but
I get it.
Oh,
I would say, yeah, I get it. Like I feel like it's two different perspectives, and I feel like the movie that speaks to you the most, I feel like that's the way you're gonna gravitate towards.
So, but we did this. I think I think we did this on episode 3 with Kai.
Okay.
And it was like a pick one, or you had to erase one from history. The movie franchise. You brought up Monsters University, so I'm gonna ask you again. Or
okay.
I'm gonna bring back this segment. Pixar movies: Toy Story, Finding Nemo, Incredibles, or Monsters Inc. You have
Toy
to erase one of them. So
Incredibles, Monsters Inc., or what was the fourth one? Finding Nemo.
So you have to erase like if you were
what is going? What's got to go?
Erase Toy Story 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, only one stays.
No, you have to keep 3.
Okay, keep 3. What's got to go? Okay.
So like the whole franchise.
All right. Monsters Inc. is just genius. I'm sorry. That was just so different for Disney, and they executed it very well. Toy Story is staying. I'm not gonna lie. Finding Nemo's gotta go. The Incredibles is staying.
Oh no! I chose The Incredibles.
The Incredibles to go?
Yeah.
I can see why it would go, but people love The Incredibles. Yeah. Like, come on, Frozo. Like that's my guy.
I get it. And to me, Incredibles is like The Incredibles is like another, like I said, Shrek. It's like a nostalgia movie, but all these Pixar movies are like kind of nostalgia.
Yeah.
But I just like the idea of Finding Nemo more than I like The Incredibles, because like I just love the fact of like just the character.
Yeah, the characters were definitely
development of
funny,
Emo and
but
like
it's like I don't know. They were just swimming, and they had to find them, and it was
they were
like
just swimming is crazy.
you know, all right, I could go without this,
Yeah,
but it's a cool movie though.
yeah. I respect your opinion. Moving back to the rap beef scene, because this wasn't really the only rap beef. We also had to talk about Rick Ross as well. But
Okay, yeah, we can do a
don't.
little sprinkle of Rick.
Okay, yeah. So, but there was outside of Rick Ross and like the Drake thing, there was also a rap beef that was happening. That is happening between Chris Brown and Quavo. I mean, basically, if you haven't, I think Chris Brown dropped like a little Quavo diss in one of his songs.
Yeah.
In his deluxe, I think it was.
Yeah, 1111 Deluxe. Yeah.
I heard that album was great.
Yeah,
I didn't really listen
definitely.
to it all, but basically he was like, she want Casamigos, she don't like the Migos or something, something like that. She don't mess with Quavo.
Yeah,
but he meant
because he meant to say like Curvo, like the drink. Yeah,
but I always had to throw in Quavo.
Yeah,
and then I was like, okay, this is all right. And then Quavo really just, in my opinion, Quavo decimated him. Like that track was really like, it wasn't like a lyrical track, but
he was quick.
Yeah, and he was
like, hold up.
He was like, he was trying to say like, basically trying to appeal to like the fans of like why Chris Brown is so mad that he's Quavo seeing Karuchi, and he was like, it's bigger than rap. It's bigger than that. No, it is not. Like, basically, bro, you're just kind of like salty that I'm with like your ex. And I guess like Chris Brown, like, and my thing with Chris Brown is like, dog, you're literally Chris Brown.
You're Chris Brown.
Like, you can get, and this has kind of been like one of my big problems with Chris Brown as well, is like, you can literally get anybody you want. Like, literally, like you can pull literally anybody you want, but you still find yourself in these situations where you're either the whole thing with Rihanna, or like, even though that would have been like such a great like couple, like that would have been.
But I mean, you know, Chris Brown and Drake, they went through it over Rihanna, but they cool now.
And so like you find yourself in situations where your character yourself is being called into question because of what you've done or what people have alleged you to done, because there have been times where Chris has put himself in not the best of situations.
Right.
But there's also been times where Chris has been alleged of certain things that he didn't really done because he is Chris, and people want to like defame his character because one, they want their money, of course, but one, Chris is kind of like an easy target. Because he has so
like,
much.
Okay, if it's happened once,
he has so much things he's involved in. So it's just like we're at a point now where if something came out about Chris, where it's like, you know, he hit somebody. It's alleged that he hit somebody. It's like kind of like, I feel like the TLs and stuff are like, can question it now, where it's like, is this real, or is this just somebody trying to get Chris for his money, stuff like that.
Right.
So, but I also wanted to tie this into like, kind of like how we as men let like our pride and our egos really get hurt by us, you know, our fallout with like our ex or something like that.
Yeah.
And so like you see somebody with somebody else, and it's kind of like that really hurts. It kind of like hurts. It hurts because it, you know, obviously, especially if you're in like a relationship with somebody that's like X amount of time.
Yeah.
And you're not really ready to move off.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but also, you know, your ego just isn't really allowed. You don't really allow yourself and your ego to move past that.
Right.
Right. And so,
you just keeping them around just so you can say, you know, you have access to them and like, she's mine, but like, you got to let her be, you know.
And so,
let her be happy.
And we have like a bunch of that in our generation now. Like, meanwhile, we have the famous saying, there's tons of fish in the sea, but we as men like to be like, no, That's my fish.
This my fish.
Like, that's my salmon. That's my, like, tuna. Like,
filet mignon.
Like, you know,
Okay.
like, that's my fish. And so
For
we don't want to try any other fish. You know, so, and that's what I kind of felt like is happening with Chris Brown. And it's just like, I feel like for us as men today, like, let's take you and me, for example. We don't have that same, like, outreach that Chris Brown has. We don't have the, you know, the money, the exposure, stuff like that. We can't just get whoever we want.
Right.
Who
can't?
Ashton and Mike. Like you got to put some extra effort into it. But for Chris Brown, and that's kind of like reiterating myself or repeating myself, Chris Brown is like, you have that reach, so it's like you're still stuck on Karrueche. I don't know what Karrueche got. I don't know.
She bad though.
She is, but
yeah, I do get your argument,
Yeah.
and I think like with Chris Brown, you know how you have that friend that's like they can't help but be themselves as far as like whatever they say, whatever they do, and it kind of like the people around them like, okay, you know how what's name is.
Yeah, like no matter what.
Yeah,
people you're around.
Like I don't know why you're doing that when you know how he is. I don't know why you do that when you know how she is. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can try him if you want to, but you know what's coming with that, right? So you better be ready. So I feel like that about Chris Brown, and I'm a huge Chris Brown fan.
I love Chris Brown.
Yeah, but definitely talented. However, I feel like going back to, you know, us being prideful as men, like I think not only is it like over women, but like the validation between like us as men.
From other men as well.
Yeah. Like I feel like a lot of rappers, you know, they date around the industry as far as like the same girls and things like that, because like that is the standard as far as what type of woman a male artist should be with. You know what I'm saying? Like body, personality, what they're, you know, what they stand on, what they do, you know, when it's time to, you know. But I think it's kind of you have to be your own person because you won't be happy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And having other validation, it's like, okay, what are you yourself? You're going off of, you know, what this guy says, what this guy say is like, you know, a baddie or like, you know, the dime piece, the trophy wife. Like it's not, you know, one figure, because I feel like, you know, we all have somebody that's like made just for us. Yeah. But it's just like, if you don't give yourself time to, you know, seek out and find them, it's like, you know, it's kind of a disadvantage as far as keeping one person around that the situation is kind of overdue for you to let them go.
And I'm a real like, I'm a real like religious guy as well. And it's just like, I do believe that God does put people in our life for are fit for us,
right?
But it's also a process that goes with it for you to build your relationship, build your bond, right? Like,
your heart's got to be in the right place.
Some people have to go through separation to have a stronger bond.
Yeah,
or some people you need that separation, but also I do believe that the devil does put some people in your life to distract you from what you really need.
That's right. That's so true.
The whole like Jezebel, like I'm not even, if you know what that is, and you know how that you know. But you know, the devil does put people in your life that will distract you from taking a step forward.
Right.
But it's up to you in your relationship with God to kind of like know the difference in between that. Like, what's the difference between this person is really in my life for a reason, or this person is in my life to distract me from moving forward.
Right. Like, how is that person pouring back into you? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I feel like even in the dating scene these days, like, it's just a lot of eye candy. Like, a lot of things that you could just, you know, this is just your toy.
And the media plays a huge part in, like, the whole sexualization of women.
Yeah.
Right. Like how the media sexualizes women in the media that you will never come into contact with leads men to like feel that way about, and especially in this generation, and why the dating scene, in my opinion, is so corrupted is because that makes you view women
in real life like that.
like that.
Yeah.
Like,
if you ain't got this body type, if you ain't coming like this, it's like, nah.
And it's not just, I'm not even trying to beat up on the men and shit like that, but it's the same way around with like women and men. Like, you know, we're made to seem like, as a man, if you want to get into the dating scene, you got to have this ready, you got to have that ready.
Right.
When reality, you should be dating like mental, like spiritually defined how this person is.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like the money and shit and like that is just sprinkles on top.
Right.
Right. Like, whether or not somebody has a career, or whether or not somebody has like is financially stable, to me that's sprinkled on top.
Right.
Because some people, when we see that now, people could be financially stable, but they could be assholes.
Right.
They could be real horrible human beings.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta watch what you get yourself up like into, and kind of like to tie it back into Chris Brown. It's like Chris Brown has done a great job in improving himself from the person that he was.
Definitely.
Like, he's at a great spot now, and I feel like Karrueche is really like, and this is just my opinion, I'm not even trying to downplay Karrueche, fine as hell. Like,
nah, for real.
Like, if I was with Karrueche, I'd probably be acting the same way.
You
know, but I feel like this is kind of like a similar situation where Chris Brown is still being held back, and not necessarily Karrueche is holding him back, but Chris Brown is holding himself back in that emotional and spiritual tie to Karrueche. Instead of moving forward, he has like a beautiful woman that he has 2 kids with. Like,
yeah, so, and I think it's just crazy because it's like, you think Chris Brown is really like sitting at home rolling around in the bed crying over Karrueche. He got girls like on the roster.
But that's something that's like,
but also it goes back to, just that pride, like that ego, like, oh, I still got access to her and whoever else I want. You know what I mean?
That's also something that we as men do that really takes us further from healing.
Yeah. Like, that's real.
When you get out of a relationship, it's like, oh, you want to have sex with everything under the sun to distract you from that, that ex. Where real life, you're really damaging yourself, and that's doing more harm than good.
Right.
With yourself, sharing a piece of yourself with every woman, in the fact to make a point that, like, oh, well, I'm fine without her. I can get whoever I want. I can sleep with whoever I want. I can go out and have some fun wherever I want. Where really, you're hurting yourself because you feel like, I'm never going to really find the one that's for me.
Right.
And you see her all happy and stuff with somebody else, where she's not sharing her body with everybody else. She's not, going around doing all that stuff because she's protecting her temple. She's protecting who she is as a person. Meanwhile, you're giving yourself to each person you come into contact with, and that's really damaging you. And I feel like that's damaging Chris because, like you said, like, Chris is not crying and stuff in bed. He's sleeping with every other woman. But that, what looks like is a healing factor, is really not.
Yeah, you think it's like a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, as men, my sign's a Cancer.
Okay.
You already know what they say about us. You have to let yourself pour out those emotions.
Yeah.
You absolutely have to. It's like, it's natural, because think about it. Like, you're just coughing. Think about if you go through this whole podcast not coughing.
Right.
You're going to feel so much buildup in your chest. So much, it's going to hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you hold in a sneeze.
Ooh, that's a good analogy.
I come with the good analogy.
Yeah. Okay.
When you hold yourself in from sneezing, right?
It's work.
You're in class. Because you don't want people to be like, people to think of you like, oh, he's sick. He's sick.
Yeah,
like, no.
Yeah.
And so you're so
it's allergy season. Come on now.
So when you leave that class and you sneeze or you let out that cough,
you're relieved.
But it's not relieved, but it's like, it hurts you.
Right.
Like, think
when
about,
you take a little bit to do it.
Think about like acne, right?
Mm.
I'll be honest, my smooth's not the skinniest.
Okay.
I mean, my damn.
Skin not the smoothest.
Yo! My skin isn't the smoothest.
All right.
Right? Growing up, my mom and my dad, and even my ex at the time would like pick at my face and like pop the pimples on my face.
Ugh.
And that's like, it's annoying and it's kind of like a weird fetish.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you don't pop, like, or if you don't take care of like the stuff inside your skin, it's just gonna build up to the point where it travels to somewhere else.
Right.
You have to do that to like get it out of your system.
Right.
And it's the same thing with like crying and feeling sad and stuff like that.
Definitely.
If you're trying to you have so much stuff build up and not let your emotions out because you're a man and you're, you want to be tough. Well, you're going to hold all that in and you're going to combust.
Right.
And it's it's going to release itself somehow. Whether, and in Chris's situation, whether that's yelling at somebody, whether that's, same thing with like Kanye West, for example. Whether that's yelling at somebody, allegedly hitting somebody, or going on a stage and making a fool out of yourself, or being having an embarrassing moment in the eyes of the media, it's going to come out somehow, some way. And you're not going to like it. So it's best to let your emotions flow out and naturally heal yourself. Just like I said, go through allergies and go through like sickness and stuff. Let yourself sneeze, let yourself cough, and heal yourself naturally rather than holding it in and thinking you can just, I'm a man, I can do what I want, and I'm so tough, and have it come out a way you don't really like it to come out.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's real. It's definitely real.
Yeah, and so
even going to, Drake and, everything that he has going on with Rick Ross, ASAP, and The Weeknd, and Kendrick, and Future.
Drake is another example. Because people
why are Drake and Future beefing?
People don't really do this about Drake because he's such a big artist, but Drake is somebody like a Chris Brown that hasn't really found true happiness, right? Like, Drake is somebody that people look at Drake and say, "Oh, he's winning in life. He has all the bro."
But I mean, is true happiness always a woman though?
No, I'm not saying it is a woman.
Okay,
but like, I'm not saying necessarily a woman. I'm saying like, and this is just my opinion. Okay, Drake is somebody who people come at him for this because you have the mansion, you have more hits than Michael Jackson, or right? No, in my opinion, but Billboard wise, you have more Billboard #1 hits than Michael Jackson. You have cars, you have everything, right? But Drake is still somebody out here acting like
hopeless romantic.
Yeah, like he's acting like that.
But that's his brand,
I get it, but it's still
you broke my heart.
But even now with the Kendrick thing as well, it's like, Drake, okay, you're acting kind of like a little kid. It's like you're acting like you're giving the media what they want, right?
But I think that's what this whole thing is, though. Like, what? You got 10 plus of my ops on the album. Oh, if that's not for attention, I don't know what is.
No, I'm saying the diss is cool. But I'm talking about him like posting, posting every day on his Instagram story.
Yeah, with the drum line and all that.
Him paying a drum line to the club to troll Metro. It is like, okay, you like people like rap heads and stuff, they're gonna think it's childish. Like, it's mature people gonna think that's childish. Yeah. But the dudes on Twitter, like we talked about how this media age has corrupted the dating scene, has corrupted everything in social media.
But I mean, the media they're gonna age, like that's the present day though.
I know, but me personally, it's like
I think he's playing into it because he knows how the present day rocks. And I think that's like why Drake and Future and all them, like, they prevail because they make music. Like, they talk about stuff that this generation kind of like gravitates towards. Like Future, same way, he's into like His like the king of toxic. That's his whole brand.
Yeah.
But it's just like us as guys, you know, and even girls, like they like hearing stuff
Yeah.
like
And
that.
even Future even said, like, Future said, he was like, all that, like, you know, like drug stuff I be talking about, that's not really me.
Yeah,
He said,
that's
like,
not him. Yeah, he said
but
he's a lightweight.
to me, it's just like, with back to the Drake thing, is like, also Drake is like, I gotta stop saying like so much. But he said, or when like ASAP and Rihanna got married, he was unfollowing Rihanna and ASAP. It was like, are you really that hurt? Like,
Yeah.
like, so that's what I kind of mean, you know?
Yeah.
But I just feel like that's interesting on how like we as men deal with kind of like the relate or like the breakup,
Right.
you know, aspect of it. You know, because that is something that is hard to move off of. Like, it's really hard to. You might be doing a lot of stuff. You might be selling number one hits, or you might be getting scholarships, internships, stuff like that. But your breakup or like something like that can really take your mind off of everything. You feel like depressed and feel like you're losing a life. But really, in reality, you're a
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
gotta
gonna cuss, but you're a
know who you
boss.
are. Right. Know
Like
who you are.
yeah. So it's like,
And I think you only know that if like you affirm that.
mhm.
Like when anything comes your way. Like even these disses. It's just like, okay, I gotta put on my boots because I know I'm Drake. I know I'm Kendrick. So I can do this in the booth. I can do that in the booth. So whatever anybody says about me, like I'm gonna be ready. Even down to like a breakup or even down to, you know, me losing my keys today. Even down to
Oh,
even
wow.
down to like, you know, you oversleeping for a test or something like that. I feel like when you know your character and when you know your intentions and how like you go about things,
Mhm.
I think that gets a pass in a lot of situations because you're not you don't shy away from that. You don't shy away from your morals. You don't shy away from like who you truly are.
Mhm.
And I think down to like this Drake and Kendrick and coming from like a spiritual perspective, like I feel like they are very, I mean, sometimes despite popular belief, I feel like they're very secure as far as their skill. And so they're not going to let anybody say like what they're not. You know what I mean? So much respect to the whole situation. I mean, I feel like 10 plus people on the stuff that's not rocking with Drake allegedly is crazy.
Mhm.
But I mean, I feel like Drake is shrugging his shoulders and I feel like Kendrick is like sitting back and it's like, okay, everybody done. Now
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Drake is Drake. Kendrick is Kendrick. Like, and Drake has surpassed this before with the whole Pusha T murdered him.
Oh my gosh.
He murdered him.
Oh my. See, I'm about to leave.
You think he didn't?
Pusha T is cool, but where is he now?
No, that's cool. But that's the point I wanted to get to was like, let's not disrespect Pusha T.
No,
Like,
I'm not
he's
saying skill wise, but
he's
I'm
still-
saying like sometimes when you do things, like how does it benefit you?
He's
You
not
know
on
what I mean?
Drake's. He's not on Drake's level. Obviously, he's not even on Kendrick. Not on like a. I mean, lyrically, he's better than like Future, but like, come on, dog. Come on, dog. Lyrically, he is better than
Lyrically,
Future,
okay,
but he's not on
lyrically.
Future's level as
All
a
right.
rapper. Like, you know, like, Pusha T is probably not even like in terms of today, like top 10 rappers. But Drake wanted to come for Pusha, and Drake dropped that Duppy freestyle, and he was trying to. He did shoot at Pusha a little bit, but he tried to come at Kanye, and Pusha dropped Story of Adi down and was like, he said, "Why are you giving your curses to Kanye instead of me? I'm selfish." Like, and he murdered him. Like, even past the child revealing he had a child, he came at his father, came at his man's OVO 40, hunched over like he 80.
Wow.
Like, dog.
Okay, then lyrics.
He said, OVO 40 hunched over like he 80. He said, how much time that man got? He's sick.
Okay,
What'd he say?
okay.
Damn. OVO 40 hunched over like he 80. How much time that man got? That man is sick. I got the devil flow, nigga, 666. But he used Drake's like
Yeah, Lord.
666.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that was tough, bro.
Yeah, all right. We'll give him snaps. We'll
He
give him
said
snaps
your
for that.
father walked away at 5, hell of a dad thing.
Okay, then.
Like,
Yeah,
bro,
you were a fan.
bro, I'm not even a Pusha fan, but go back and listen to that diss, bro.
Okay.
He bodied him.
Okay. Sometimes, when people come at, the people that I rock with, it's just kind of like, all right.
You try to tune him out.
Yeah.
I get that. Like, if somebody would come at Kendrick that was like, I don't know, if like, for some reason, if like JID came at Kendrick,
Yeah.
I would have been like, all right, dude.
Yeah, like, what's going on here?
But if JID dropped a story of Adidon on Kendrick, it's really hard to not like
tune in.
Yeah, like, it's really, really hard.
Yeah, I think in this coming year, I am gonna work on being a non-biased fan of hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm a fan of hip hop in general. Like, I feel like I have like a general respect for everybody who raps, but I do have favorites. You know what I mean?
And it's okay to definitely have favorites. Because I know some rappers I don't play about. I don't care what it is. I do not play about Kanye. Kanye's doing what he's doing now.
He's like, please ignore him. Please excuse him.
But when we talk about music,
when you talk about music,
Prime Kanye,
he'll play around.
101. I don't play around. I'm a stand.
All right.
I will put Kanye and his discography up against literally anybody in history.
Okay.
In rap history. I don't care.
Okay. As far as me, it's Young Money to the death of me. I love Wayne, Drake, Nicki. They could go toe-to-toe with anybody in this rap game. And who else do I like? New School. I'm not going to lie. I like Lil Baby. I like, yeah, I'm sorry. Lil Baby's running New School, in my opinion.
Hold on. But I pull up the lyrics. Because remember.
The lyrics to Pusha T?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Listen to this, bro. Listen to this. Because Drake mentioned Pusha T's wife in his diss track. So he said, you mentioned wedding ring like it's a bad thing. Your father walked away at 5, hell of a dad thing. And then he said marriage is something that Sandy never had, Drake. How you a winner, but she keeps coming in last place.
Okay.
Like, bro. And then he said, monkey suit Dennis, you parade him. A Steve Harvey suit, nigga, made, bro. This is like one of the greatest diss tracks of all time. This is one of the greatest diss tracks of all time. Like, obviously, like,
Nas Ether would like to have a discussion.
No, I'm not saying it is the greatest.
Okay.
Like, Ether, Hit 'Em Up.
Yeah.
Those are up there.
Okay.
But in terms of like, this is like a defining moment in the rap diss history. Yeah.
Okay.
Like same like back to back with Drake. Like that's one of
Oh man.
Like that's
yeah.
Yeah. But we were talking about what were we talking about before? Like before I pulled up the lyrics.
Talking about, who we don't play about as far as like artists. Yeah. I have a newfound, I really like.
Oh, you said Lil Baby.
Yeah.
I can't agree with on that.
Who do you think runs? Who do you think is running New School right now?
Gunna.
Oh my gosh, I love Gunna. I love Gunna. But this is my argument. I think people like Gunna has always been a low key artist. Mm-hmm. Like 2019, he slides. 2020, he slid. 2021, he slid. He gets locked up. Everybody's free thug, free Gunna, free thug, free Gunna. It got revealed that Gunna allegedly snitched. Now everybody's, bump Gunna. Free thug, just free thug. Because all these rappers are like not rocking with Gunna or whatever. That has nothing to do with me. But Gunna gets out. He gets a little hit.
Drops A Gift and a Curse.
A Gift and a Curse. Right. Great album. Now everybody's back on his wave. And that's how these fans do. So that's why you can't take them too serious.
Bro, but trust me, I'm telling you. A Gift and a Curse was rap. The Grammys should be ashamed of themselves The Grammys should be ashamed of themselves that they didn't nominate A Gift and a Curse for Rap Album of the Year last year.
But you know what that's about, like politics.
And trust me, I get it. But A Gift and a Curse was better than Utopia. It was better than
Utopia, like Travis Scott's album?
Yes.
Oh.
It was better than
Bradley talking about
I'm a Travis Scott fan. Listen.
I'm not into Travis like that anymore, so.
Travis is cool when he wants to be.
Yeah. He definitely does his thing.
Like Astro Travis to me is like
peak.
Yes.
Like, oh my God.
Astro Travis is like, bro. But all that Jesus Travis and trying to be like Kanye.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really, but it's still,
yeah, he like to do that opium rap.
Gift and the Curse was better than Killer Mike's album.
Yeah.
Which was BS that he won the Grammy for that.
That was crazy.
Cool. It was the most, professional rap album. I get it. You wanted to give it to him. You want to protect your platform with the Grammys. I get it.
Okay.
But it was better than Killer Mike's. It was better than, as far as a rap album, it was better than Drake's and 21's collab. And I forgot the other album that was nominated as well. But it was rap album to you.
Okay.
And to me, I feel like Gunna is just starting to reach his prime.
But I think running new school is like, it's layers to it.
But Baby has fallen off though.
For now.
He has fallen off. And I felt like
y'all weren't saying that last year? Y'all were not saying that last year.
We've been saying that for 2 years, bro. Last year and this year, Baby has kind of fallen off.
I don't know, man. I think, I think give it some time. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Like sometimes, you get on writer's block. You have a creative block.
I also do have smoke for Baby though. I do a little bit.
As far as what?
Because like you said, he was one of the rappers that were like him and Dirk were one of the rappers that were like, that were not really messing with Gunna.
Right.
The whole snitching thing.
Yeah.
Which kind of turned out not to be kind of true. I guess. And they unfollowed Gunna, and they were dissing Gunna live on stage. But when Gunna dropped out, when Gunna came out and went on tour for A Gift and a Curse, Baby and Dirk literally had to cancel shows because they weren't selling enough tickets. And y'all weren't making the hits that, Dirk had to hit with like J. Cole and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in terms of Baby, whether it was a writing block or not,
he said writer's block or not.
You weren't really, Gunna came out of jail and outperformed you.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Gunna really, and to me, in my opinion, Gunna really made a platform for you, for real, in my opinion. Gunna, when you and Baby dropped that collab album, and Gunna was kind of helping you out a little bit. Like,
I think Lil Baby had a wave though, and I think like, I don't know. I feel like it's too close to call right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Baby, he dropped It's Only Me. Like, that was a cool album. But I feel like let's wait for the next project. Mm-hmm. Let's wait for the next body of work.
Definitely. And I'm not counting Baby out at all because
yeah, and I feel like a lot of rappers copy him. Like, as far as new school, I don't think Gunna copies Baby, but I feel like a lot of other rappers that everybody likes copies Lil Baby.
Baby, and he had a verse on the new Future and Metro album. That shit was fire.
Yeah. He did his thing. Yeah.
Which one was that? Yeah, which one was that? I think it was Crazy Clientele or Nobody Knows My Struggle. I think one of them. He went off. So
yeah,
I'm not counting.
He tired of y'all, man.
I am Team Gunna though. Not gonna lie.
Okay.
Team Gunna. He's dropping a new album. One of one, and it's like, one of. How is it? I think it's like one of one, but one is spelled out O-N-E, and then the other one is spelled out W-U-N. Because
oh, wanna, yeah.
So
wanna.
That's definitely gonna be like. I think Gunna is just entering his prime.
Yeah, I am. I'm definitely excited for it.
Yeah,
I'm definitely excited for Gunna's new album.
So, not gonna lie. But was there any? Also, before we do get out of here, I want to know how you feel. You're a Nicki fan. I know you about to get your stuff off when I ask you that. You're part of the Barbs.
Okay.
You a Barb. But how do you feel about this? Is a problem I have with Nicki.
Oh my goodness.
How do you feel about Nicki Minaj beefing with every single new artist, new woman rapper that comes up?
Right. That's the problem. That's the problem right there. Is that your question?
Yeah, like
Why does she beef with every female rapper?
Or like, what is but like, what is like why, like what is? I don't even know. Like, why did she do it?
Why
like,
did she do that?
Yeah, like
I don't know Nicki Minaj personally. I do love her though. I went to go see her in Dreamville because that's what fans do. When you're a fan of someone beyond social media, you go support them. That's what I did. So shout out Nicki Minaj. I will say with Nicki Minaj's run in these 15 years that she's been rapping, I think a lot has come her way. As far as people doubting her from day one, you know, people think she was a pop artist.
Is she on cocaine?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just wanted to.
No. I think that's a strong allegation. And I feel like that's like
That's
as black people, it should be like, why are we even accusing anybody of that? You know what I mean?
I mean, cocaine is something that's.
Because they yell in the camera? Like, dang.
I don't know. I listened to a Twitter space.
Rick Ross got 20, 30, 40 stories about BBO Drizzy.
He could be on cocaine too.
Oh, okay. Well, let's be fair. But I don't automatically say somebody's on coke. Like, that's like.
And I'm just asking.
Nah.
Because you in tune with like the Barb community and stuff like that. So I want to know like if there's like.
Hey man, I just like I just feel like I just have a lot of respect for our artistry. But back to your question, I think it's the same pattern though. Like they come in. I love Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is the GOAT, and you know she's J. Cole, and this other artist is Lil Pump, and you know she's the GOAT, and she really writes her stuff, and I'm inspired, and let's go on live, and let's do the music video, and my dream collab is Nicki Minaj, and all that. Just doing a lot of stuff that we do not ask these other female rappers for. It's like, okay, you love Nicki Minaj, I love Nicki Minaj, hey, we can rock with you a little bit, and you know, and that's another thing too. When a female rapper likes Nicki Minaj fans support that other female. But, you know, when the industry talks and they start playing with people that Nicki does not necessarily rock with and kind of push Nicki Minaj to the side because, one, they cannot benefit off of Nicki Minaj because Nicki Minaj won't work with them, or they already work with Nicki Minaj, so it's like, oh, on to the next. And I'm not going to check to see how Nicki's doing and how, you know, I'm not going to check in with her because I already got what I wanted. All I wanted was a feature. I said that I loved you and da-da-da-da-da, but, you know, I don't really, you feel me? And it's kind of like that with, you know, people that you work with, like in the journalism industry. Like, okay, if we have like a speaker series that comes in, right? And you get their connections and you take the picture with them and you post them on LinkedIn and you take one meeting with them. Just because you didn't get an internship from them doesn't mean you should like check in with them, see how they're doing, because an opportunity could come later. So it's like, wait your turn in a way. And so, you know, then rap is a sport, right? Same with this. Nobody's taking this whole male rap, what Future Drake got going on as Coke rants, or Drake is always mad and Future's always mad and Kendrick's always mad. But we want to have equality, right? So why can't we be like that for women? Why can't it just be a sport for women? You know what I mean?
But
so when everybody does their little sprinkle in the songs, Nicki Minaj, because she's Nicki Minaj, the queen, it hits 10 times harder. Always. It's like, oh my gosh, Nicki's always. Oh my God, Nicki's always. But it's just like everybody doing the same thing. But you can't help that Nicki hits the hardest. You know what I mean?
But okay, so let me ask you a question. So like, how did the whole, again, you are in tune with that community.
Okay.
How has the, I'm not even trying to like say it.
Yeah. It's no problem.
How did the whole Megan and like Nicki thing start? Because it's like the whole Nicki and Lotto, like how does that start? because it's like, oh, I get it. If you have a beef with like one rapper, one female rapper, and they try to come through for your throne, I get it.
Right.
But it's like the quantity of female rappers that she's beefing with is kind of like, okay, you don't want nobody
And
to top
is it
with you.
beef? Is it beef if they're not equals? Like, it's not an equal playing field.
Yeah, it is beef.
Okay.
Drake is not. You could make an argument that Drake is not equal, or Kendrick is not equal to Drake.
I think Nicki's like says what she says and then she's done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think like with Megan and Lotto, like it's been situations where like I feel like Megan, okay, everybody was kind of like, when she went with Cardi. You know what I'm saying? And it was like kind of like the status of like what's up with you and Nicki? And then they were like, oh, we're still cool and all that. Great. But I feel like, you know, Megan just kind of didn't check in on Nicki or anything that she had going on after she worked with Cardi. I think that's where it's coming from. And because people only tune into Nicki's bars instead of other people's bars, you would think that Nicki is just like punching them for no reason. But because people don't listen to their music, they don't know what they've been saying that could be about Nicki as well.
Okay.
So I feel like even with Lotto, like their whole stuff is, oh, Lotto didn't speak up for Nicki when she got moved from the Grammy category from rap to pop. Mm-hmm. Even though in the song that Nicki got Grammy nominated for, she does rap in the song. Same with Lotto's song. They're both rapping, but they have pop hooks. But Lotto stayed in rap. Nicki's got moved to pop. And pop, as we know, it's a lot of Caucasian artists. So a Caucasian artist is more likely to win the Grammy because the Grammys is not necessarily like a black people clean sweep as far as getting a whole bunch of Grammys. So, you know, Nicki asked Lotto privately, you know, like, can you like say something or whatever? And Lotto was kind of like, you know, because we didn't end up on a good note, you know, last time that we spoke, basically because she thought Nicki was shading her in like a Twitter post, but she was talking about a TikToker that was talking crazy about Nicki, but she just automatically assumed. And the last thing that I'm going to say about this whole thing is like, you know, everybody claims that they're tough, right? They talk about how, you know, I'm the best and these people ain't seeing me and I'm the, you know, ain't nobody gonna check me, da-da-da-da-da. But every time you turn around, they're crying about something. They're crying about something that another person is doing. It's just like, okay, if we tough, like, let's just take it on the chin, say something back, and let's just keep it.
Like
keep
how
it
J. Cole.
Yeah, just like how the men do it. But like I said, the men don't get accused of being on coke rants and going off and stuff like that.
I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So I feel like my answer was a non-biased answer because I feel like Lotto can rap. I think Megan can rap. I think Nicki can rap. But I think, like, again, it's moving the goalposts for certain people because it's convenient to hate on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Before we get out of here, I just wanted to do one more topic. I know I said that before the Nicki thing. But,
yeah.
I want you to rank these 5 tracks.
Okay.
Rick Ross and Drake collab.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna give you 5 tracks, and I want you to rank 5 to 1.
Okay, I think I know my favorite already.
Yeah, 1 being best, 5 being worst.
Okay,
not
cool.
really because they're all good tracks, but I'm on one. Diced Pineapples, Lord Knows, Stay Scheming, and Aston Martin Music.
Oh man. Okay, the most slept on, which is my favorite, I'm already say number 1, Diced Pineapples. Yeah, my baby tastes the best. Shawty's so fine.
Right.
Shawty's so fresh. Okay, Diced Pineapples. Diced Pineapples is number 1. Number 2, I think Aston Martin Music. That's a classic. You know, that hook, Chrisette Michele, like she did her thing. Definitely. Drake. Yeah, the whole track is just chef's kiss. So Diced Pineapple. That's just my personal favorite. Aston Martin Music. I'm on one is a classic too. But I would say I kind of like Stay Scheming better than I'm on one. Yeah. I think the beat is harder. And I think, everybody kind of went a little harder on Stay Scheming, in my opinion. So, Dice Pineapples, Aston Martin Music, Stay Scheming. I'm on one, Lord knows.
Okay.
And they need to make up too. Like, I don't even know what this is. What is this about for real? He talking about I don't follow because of French Montana. Again, like you doing stuff because of another man. Like, come on, man. Like, this is unserious.
The whole thing between Ross and Drake is weird. Even like Drake posting his text messages with his mom.
Yeah, like what's going on?
But
y'all need to make up.
Me personally, number 5, I would say Lord Knows.
Okay.
Even though I really love that track.
Yeah, it's definitely hard.
Number 4, I would say I'm on one. Number 3, Ashton. I know my name is Ashton, but technically not the same. But
yeah.
I'm gonna say it. Number 3, Aston Martin Music.
Okay.
Number 2, Dice Pineapples.
Okay.
And number 1, Stay Scheme.
It's
just something about the. Yeah. It's just something about the.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Rick Ross.
I'll be like, hold up.
All the real niggas worldwide.
Salute.
Bro, that's the, that's
life's so short.
Bro.
I don't want to go to court.
That's like my favorite intro. That's one of my favorite intros.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah. That is tough.
But,
can I ask you a question before we head out?
What's up?
Okay. You are like New York adjacent. Mm-hmm. Like you're from Delaware, but like New York, family. Like you're very aware of the scene. Mm-hmm. So who are your top 5 New York rappers?
Top 5 New York rappers?
Yeah.
Wow. Number 1 is the GOAT, Jay-Z.
Hey.
The GOAT.
Okay.
The GOAT of rap. Like,
oh my
Sean
goodness.
Carter, the GOAT. Number 2, Biggie. Biggie was about to change the game.
Definitely.
Number 3, Nas for me. Number 4, no, scratch that.
Okay.
I know Nas dropped Illmatic, one of the greatest rap albums ever, but to me, in terms of impact and like how raw he was, number 3 is 50 Cent.
Okay.
Right? People can make an argument 50 Cent is really the GOAT. Number 4 is Nas. And number 5, I'm kind of like in between. This is hard. This is really hard. Ugh. Number 5, I said Jay-Z, Biggie, 50 Cent,
Nas.
One more. It's not that I don't know. It's just like it's really hard because I want to say like Jadakiss.
Yeah.
But I also there's like so many great New York rappers.
Is DMX not from New York?
I also like want to say DMX because DMX is just like.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Changed the game. Like,
he's crazy. He goes crazy.
Number 5, I have to go DMX.
Okay.
Have to.
Yeah,
Jadakiss is like.
Yeah, he goes crazy too.
But
yeah, legend.
Jay-Z, Biggie, 50 Cent, Nas, DMX. And that's just my personal, like, how I feel about those rappers. Just about their impact to New York in general. Like, even though I feel like DMX impact was, like, worldwide, to be honest, like, he was really, like, when Atlanta was getting their shit up, DMX was, like, right there, like, nah. New York is still, like, right. You know, same with Jay, Biggie, but to me, I put Jay number 1 because Jay not only started off under the wing of the New York rappers, but he took that and he transcended it to, like, past New York, right? Biggie, obviously, nobody meant more to the city than Biggie.
Right.
Like, nobody meant more to New York than Biggie.
Right.
Same thing with, like, 50 Cent.
Yeah.
50 Cent, and he's still... And Jadakiss is, like, to this day, is just, like... But
Yeah,
Jadakiss
much
is probably,
respect.
like, honorable mention.
Definitely.
So, but...
Definitely.
But, with that being said, this concludes episode 6 of the Get Back podcast.
Hey.
Make sure you check out Mike's... follow him on Instagram. I'll put a social media link in the description.
Definitely.
Make sure to like, comment your thoughts if you have any, and subscribe. I know I've been lacking on putting the actual audio file on like Apple Podcasts for like the past 3 episodes, but I'm gonna make a conscious effort to do that.
Yeah, consistency.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to listen to this audio wise in the car while you're taking a trip to work or something, you can.
For sure.
Check it out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. All the links to my socials as well are going to be in the description. And yeah, I want to say thank you, Mike, for joining me on this episode. I know it was kind of late, but
of course, you're the bro. Like this is no problem.
This is like an episode where I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work because I didn't really come prepared, but we made it work.
Yeah,
made it work.
That.
But yeah. But that being said, like I said, this concludes episode 6 of the Get Back podcast.
The Get Back a podcast.